That is, couples who were both unbelievers at the time of marriage, but where one spouse became a believer after marriage, and the other spouse is not or not yet a Torah believer. Remember, this is a letter written to the Corinthians, a pagan city. This is not a Jewish city. The vast majority there were not Jews, but pagan people. So this was a, let's say, a common situation in assemblies, in, let's say, in Gentile nations, in pagan nations. Very common situation that, well, both spouses were unbelievers. I would say, if they were pagans, well, automatically they were unbelievers at the time of marriage. But now, due to Paul's preaching or someone else's preaching, one has repented and has accepted the faith and is now a Torah believer. As the rest that Paul is writing about now. Paul's words are inspired by the Ruach, by the Holy Spirit. So his words reflect Yahweh's opinion, not just his own private opinion. So the verse says, if any brother has an unbelieving wife, and she thinks well to live with him, meaning, and if she thinks well to live with him, let him not send her away. There is an if, so that's a condition. It is against common sense to think that this is always true, regardless whether the brother has an unbelieving wife or not, or regardless whether she thinks well to live with him or not. That just doesn't make sense. If it would be a general true statement regardless of the situation, then there would not be the word if. This means you can turn it around. You can automatically conclude from this, if any brother has an unbelieving wife, and if she thinks not, she does not think well to live with him, then he can send her away. So this is conditional. Let him not send her away if the condition applies that she thinks well to live with him. Then Paul's instruction is, well, then let him not send her away. In the opposite case, if she thinks not well to live with him, he can send her away. He can. Next verse, 1 Corinthians 7:13.
And a woman who has an unbelieving husband, and he thinks well and to live with her, let her not send him away.
So this is actually the same, huh? So it works both ways. Believing husband and unbelieving wife, or vice versa. Unbelieving husband and believing wife. So in both cases, the same rule applies. If the unbelieving spouse thinks well to live with the believing spouse, let him not send her away, or let her not send him away. So it is the same. Works both ways. 1 Corinthians 7, verse 14 now, next verse. Verse 14.
For the unbelieving husband has been set apart in the wife, and the unbelieving wife has been set apart in the husband, otherwise your children would be unclean. but now they are set apart.
That's of course assuming that the unbelieving spouse thinks well to live with the believing spouse. Why are the children set apart? Simply because they are being raised in the faith. You cannot raise your children to become atheists or good Catholics and then still think that they are set apart. It just doesn't work that way. The children are set apart because the unbelieving spouse agrees with the believing spouse to raise their children in the faith. So I would say she's already halfway towards the truth. If the unbelieving spouse says, oh, no, out of the question, our children will be raised as Muslims, to give an example, or as atheists, then they will not be set apart. That is not thinking well to live with the believing spouse. It's not.